Hello everyone, my policy proposition is that reopening the economy too early can cause more harm than it can cause good. So the summary of my news article is that COVID-19 has quickly become a global pandemic affecting everyone all around the world, forcing us to go into quarantine for the safety of ourselves and for the safety of others. And with this, we've seen a lot of businesses closing down, and it led to millions of people losing their jobs and their incomes, and the economy has come to an all-time low. And as months have passed, we have seen the number of cases of corona lowering and decreasing, but there is still a large debate on whether we should open the economy back up sooner than later or if it's too early. And although the economy shut down in what feels like the blink of an eye, both politicians and health experts have now, for some time now, been debating on whether we should open businesses back up or if it's too early, and not only when we should open it back up, but how, because this is kind of a new pandemic for all people, not just ourselves, but also for the experts. Okay, so now that I have summarized the news, I want to explain to you two arguments I created to support the proposition. So my first affirmative argument is that reopening the economy too early can do more harm than good because it is costing the lives of tens of thousands of people. And although the number of COVID-19 cases, like I mentioned, have been gradually decreasing, by opening the economy back up too early, there is a high chance of these numbers going back up the same way we saw it go up in the first place. So if the economy opens up too early, more people will start to become diagnosed, and it will continue to get more people sick, and even, like I said, we'll see a high increase of people dying again. Which we have been seeing the past few months, unfortunately. According to the New York Times in May 2020, President Trump mentions that if they decide to reopen the economy, we will continue seeing a rise in corona cases and a lot more deaths. The daily death toll will reach about 3,000 individuals on June 1st, which is crazy. So my second argument is that reopening the economy too early can do more harm than good because opening stores and hospitals can actually cause more damage than it can cause good. Citizens and businesses have already lost a large amount of money, like most people, and by reopening the stores, this will put forth whatever money they have left, or they might have to take out more loans than they already have in order to keep their businesses open. However, they will also have a smaller percentage of consumers because not as many people want to go out anymore, and not as many people have as much money as they did before this whole pandemic started. And would only lead to hurting businesses even more by opening up too early, and it'll affect them financially, and it can lead to more people getting sick because they'll be near each other in a store, and it won't be 6 feet of distancing. Everyone will kind of lose that strictness of the law we've been seeing for the past few months. It'll cause a possible second wave of this pandemic, and it'll overwhelm what is an already very overwhelmed healthcare system. So according to Paul Krugman of the New York Times in April 2020, he believes that epidemiologists, who most likely know best, believe it's too early to consider loosening the laws of social distancing. And he says that the lockdowns across America they do seem to have flattened the curve, but it's allowing us to completely avoid overwhelming the, like I said, already very overwhelmed healthcare system. So now I have two opposition arguments to tell you guys. So number one is that reopening the economy would do more better than harm because people are continuing to lose everything they have. So if the economy does finally open back up, slowly but surely, people can gradually get back on their feet. Millions of people all around the world, and obviously in the United States, have lost their employment, their income, their housing, their food, the list goes on and on. And although it will be gradual, most people do rely on the economy, and they kind of need to have it open back up sooner than later. According to Martin McKee and David Stuckler of Nature's Medicine in April of 2019, the economy being shut down is hurting both the public health that controls the pandemic, but it is also hurting individuals and families. It's really hurting everyone. So he says that it also hits individuals and families who have seen their income plummet catastrophically, and once they have depleted their financial reserves, companies close with consequences for their owners, their employees, and suppliers. So my second opposition argument is that reopening the economy will do more better than harm, because we are seeing a large increase of crime, we are seeing a large increase of domestic abuse, and we are seeing a large increase of suicides, which is very unfortunate. With the pandemic extending longer and longer, people are continuously, of course, being told to stay at home to save the lives of others. However, although this is beneficial for social distancing and helping to lower the curve, which is of course important, it's also causing many other negative effects. With people being out of jobs, with people having no income, it does cause people to commit crimes, even if they've never committed a crime before. For example, stealing from a home, robbing or stealing from a closed store so they can get money or food or something for themselves or for their families. And not only are we seeing crime, but with the quarantine, we're also seeing a high increase of domestic violence. And although this is saving people from COVID-19 within itself, we are seeing a lot more people struggle with mental health, or from not being employed, or from not having their daily schedules that they're used to. This is a complete shock to everyone. And it's very, very unfortunate, but we are seeing a high increase in suicidal rates. Excuse me. So, according to Daryl Austin of Quartz in May 2020, he mentions that although we know COVID-19 is deadly, by keeping the economy closed and keeping millions of people out of work and out of their normal schedule and not receiving their income, it's just as deadly. And another is increased death and abuse in the home. Time magazine recently published a report saying that domestic cases are tripling in China as a result of what they call enforced lockdown. But we are also seeing it, unfortunately, all over the world, not just China. Other reports also detail how domestic abuse, killings have been more than double than usual in the period of what has been known as a pandemic lockdown. And according to the research at Oxford University, suicide rates rise about 1% for every percentage point increase in unemployment. Thank you.